Fragile assurance, y'all. So feel the nerves, sometimes pick up your phone and call. So real, talking about facts and metaphysical. So deep, you gon' need a rap to make sure you stay afloat. So baby, don't you change that stage. Can be a part of this history that's gonna make it. It don't matter what you're doing, just save it. And you can get back to it later. Later, later, later. You can get some of this flavor. Flavor, flavor, flavor. Cause real recognize real. Real recognize real. Real recognize real. Real recognize real. Hey, yo, Sean. Hey, listen, I told them one night, man. I appreciate that, man. That was real. Hey, real recognize real is a G-Love. Always be yourself, never be a fraud. Life is up and down, call it seesaw. Stay woke, triple R, ringing the alarm. French all up, feeling better. Made from pure chocolate, dipped in vanilla. Caught up in the rain under your umbrella. Always rock the house from the roof to the cellar. That's why I gotta tune in. When you're on camera, I hope they zoom in. So many shows only let the fools in. Out my mind, they addicted, so you can move in. Cause real, recognize real. Always turn up, so lay back and just chill. Ain't thinking about drama, ain't thinking about bills. Natural guys, no pills. In a minute, just shit. Real, recognize real. Real, recognize real. Real, recognize real. Real, recognize real.
Hey, real recognize real.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Real recognize real. Hey, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. It's been a while. It just seems like, the time for us seems like it goes fast, but I'm sure y'all miss it. I'm your host, Franchella, and got a beautiful co-host,
Lynette. Hey.
Hey, y'all. Thanks again for tuning in. Share. Appreciate it. We got some wonderful, beautiful ladies coming on as guests, so you don't want to miss it. Another fabulous show as usual. Yes. But before we get started, we want to, our hearts and prayers go out. Today, I know it's the 12th, but yesterday was the 11th. I seen on Facebook a lot of people say, oh, y'all forgot about 9/11. Y'all forgot about 9/11. I mean, it's something that we do want to forget about, but we can't erase it. Even
wish it never happened. We do wish it would never happen.
Exactly.
But because it was such a tragic event, you can't help but remember.
Right. We definitely remember. It's just something that you don't want to talk about. I mean, it's devastating to us who had to watch it, and for all those who've lost someone during that time. So our hearts and prayers go out to all those that were lost, lives that were lost on a 9/11.
Yes.
So we just want to mention that. Also, Lynette, you have something going on this weekend?
Yes. So this Saturday, September the 16th, I have a youth talent extravaganza. I'm doing it in partnership with Everyday Transitions. Shout out to Ebony Williams. It's a free community event at the Lucien Blackwell Community Center in West Philadelphia. It is from 1 to 3:30. So if you have talent, any youth that has talent that wants to be a part of the talent show, they have an opportunity to win prizes. So get at me at I'm about to say RRRtalkRadio at learn NPC 1 at gmail.com. Send an email to learnnpc 1 at gmail.com if you are a youth or a youth that has talent that wants to be a part of the talent show. So it could be rap, singing, dancing, acting, modeling, fashion, you name it. Whatever their talent is, we're ready to showcase it. So it's September 16th, 1 to 3:30.
and poetry. Like even
And
Ashley,
poetry.
maybe might think they don't have
poetry.
any kind of talent because they haven't really shown it. But ask them. Remember back in the day, we had to do show and tell in school. Do they still have that?
Probably. Well, now they just bring your parent to work or something like that. Bring your parent to school, and then you tell what they do, like that type of thing.
Oh, that's super corny.
I know. It takes out the creativity.
People would show their talent, or they would bring something in that was really cool. Yeah. Like they need to bring that back out, because I think that sometimes people don't realize their true talent. You know what I mean? And then they do something and they be like, oh, wow, I was good at that. Or they see the reaction.
It's so true. That's me with acting. I had no idea. Seriously, real talk. I had no idea.
No idea. Oh
right. But I have 2 awards in. I must be doing something right.
You absolutely are. So anyway, also in the news, the hot topic is the escapee. That they can't seem to catch.
Right.
So I'm just thinking, should we get my girls together like as a $25,000 reward? Let's go out there, okay, and find them. Like let's do it, because I'm sure if anybody can find them, y'all know we are undercover detectives. And we would definitely find you, okay? Definitely find you.
Especially all these sightings. Like, it's strange how everybody is seeing him, but the people who need to see him, you know.
I know. I know.
I hope that they catch him very soon. Very soon. Because I can't imagine living in those communities where you're afraid to even go out the door. Like, you know, you don't know if you're going to run into him or what.
Right. No, you're right. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So without further ado, we're going to bring up our first guest.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you? Let me go this way.
Okay. I like the whole background and everything with the
the outfit on. She's ready.
She is ready, right?
I got on turquoise today.
Oh, is it? I couldn't even tell. Okay. Yes.
Turquoise, girl. Yes, turquoise.
Yes. Showing up and showing out. Okay. I know that's right.
Welcome to the Real Recognized Real Talk Radio Show. I'm going to give you a proper introduction, and then we'll go into questions and hear a little bit more about you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. So Janelle Torres, also known as Philosophy, aka Gigi, is a wife, a mother of 3, who is now also raising her 16-year-old granddaughter as well. She was raised by her great-grandmother, who was the love of her life. She is also co-host of the podcast Sex and Sensuality. Ooh. So she took the knowledge that she was taught by her Nana, and that knowledge has shaped her into the woman that she is today. So through some hard times and difficult times, she grew estranged from her family, but has been blessed to have made a family of her own. Janelle now has a new outlook on life, and she is here today to share a part of her story. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Real Recognized Real Talk Radio Show, Janelle.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
This is phenomenal to be with 2 beautiful women.
Thank you.
Doing y'all thing. Okay.
We trying. We trying
to do a little something, right?
A little poquito.
So tell us a little bit about where you're from. And
I am originally from Queensbridge.
Shout out to New York.
QB, where, you know, some of the original people will say that's not true, but the original, you know, hip hoppers came from. You got Nas and Shantae, you know, all of them out there.
Okay.
Nice. Definitely some talent came out. A lot of hip hop artists came out from New York as well.
Yeah.
We forget about Philly, but
Okay,
You got it too. All right.
We can
I don't know.
guys. They need to have a battle. New York and Philly. Well, I don't know. New York might win though.
I ain't even gonna comment.
I'm gonna keep it quiet.
All right.
It depends on who battling. Now you Rakim and Big Daddy Kane, we in trouble.
Yeah.
LL from Hollis, you know LL.
Oh yeah, we be in
now,
trouble,
Queens,
you know.
that's right.
We had to get Meek Mills out or something. We need to bring out the real.
But I'm old school, so I need that old school.
Right.
That's right.
But that's okay. But shout out to the 50 years of making it to hip
That's
hop.
right. Yes. Y'all better go. Word.
Yeah.
So go ahead. Go ahead.
So just tell our viewers a little bit about you and as growing up as a child.
Well, let's see. Like I said, like you read, I was raised by my great grandmother from Queensbridge. She was one of the original people that was when Queensbridge first started. They came in and they let the Black people into that area. Mm-hmm. She was one of the first ones into Queensbridge. She when she passed, she was 108 years old. So she was already in her 80s. And when you think back now, that's where I learned to jump. That's where I learned all of the games that we took for granted, right? Red light, green light, and hopscotch, and all of those things, run, catch, and kiss, and right. All those things.
That was
and right. Back then, we probably were thinking, oh gosh, for me, living in the projects would have been the worst. But when I think about now at 52, those probably were the best days, of my life, growing up there with some of the people I still keep in contact with and talk to today, and how we've grown, and mothers and grandmothers now. Of course, we don't look like our grandmothers back then. So,
no.
But still, to be able to think back to those moments, I'm definitely blessed, and I miss my Nana every day. I was then moved from there to Queens, the other side of Queens, Rego Park, Left Rack City. That's another major, big,
Rack City
housing development. I was then moved with my maternal aunt and her husband, who I miss him. He actually passed of lung cancer about almost 8 years ago. That was like my dad, and I lived there with them until they bought a house in Long Island. So that was where the rest of my childhood was. I was out there with them in Long Island. I was a cheerleader and ran track, and I did some running in what was the Armory? I had to go out to the Armory to run. Did a lot of meets in the Armory back then. And that's where I was. One of my closest friends. She and I are still friends now since we were 11 years old. Still to this day, very close. And then my aunt and my uncle broke up, and she started dating someone else. So, and me and my uncle are still close until he passed.
Wow. So, tell us a little bit about your podcast, Sex and Sensuality.
Oh, Sex and Sensuality. Well, on that podcast, we've done some Facebook things as well. When we were asked to help broadcast it was like a website, and they wanted to make sure that people understood the difference of being sexual, knowing our sensuality, but safe sex as well. And they wanted us to speak on those specific things. So we had some topics, and when we were doing some of the topics for them, we would get on here, and when it was about dressing sexy, we dressed sexy, just to show we didn't have to wear negligee all the time. Because being sexy doesn't mean you have to go out and spend a whole lot of money. So
or show your body parts.
Right.
So be sexy without.
Exactly. You could be sexy without it. So that day we wore like one of the my co-host Mika Nicole, she wore like an oversized shirt. So her spouse is an oversized shirt and just had it tied at the waist in a nice bustier bra, which see people don't even think you can just do that and still be sexy and walk around the house. I had
Right.
on like a tank top and some man short, the boy shorts. So, you
Mhm.
know, just to let women know that we can still be sexy without going out and spending. You have plenty of things in your closet that you can use to
Right.
be sexy around the household. So we talk about sex, sensuality, safe sex. We talk about teens. We talk about sexually transmitted diseases and how to prevent them. We give a lot of information. It's not just about sex and having sex, though we do talk about that.
Why not? It's a hot subject.
Yeah, we do. We know we'll talk about that as well. You know, different positions, different things that, you know, how to keep the spice in your relationship, especially if you've been married for a long time. The how to date, how to do little secret things in the movie theaters, in your car. I mean, we talk about it all. There's no hold bars on that show.
I know that's right.
We've even
Our
talked about polygamy. We've had somebody that got on because sometimes we go live and people jump on and tell their stories while we're on live, and threesome. So we talked about, we've had people jump on and be like, girl, yeah, that was one of my things. And we're like, okay, please do tell.
Exactly. Inquiring minds want to know.
Exactly. So we make
exactly
it fun, but definitely informative.
right.
It's
So
not an easy subject to talk about with teens. You
Yeah.
know, like um, like I have godchildren, and
Mm-hmm.
I talked to my goddaughter earlier on. She's in her 30s now, but earlier on I talked to her about good touch, bad touch. I talked to my
Mm-hmm.
godsons too about good touch, bad touch. You know, tell. You know what I mean? Like
Yes. Tell.
because, and it's a shame that it's hard to talk about. It's a topic that needs to be talked about, but
All
it's
the
not.
time.
Say that again.
I said all the time. Mm-hmm.
Right. It's a topic that needs to be talked about, but you just don't know how to approach it sometimes, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and so with that being said,
Yes.
Gigi,
Yes, ma'am.
um, tell us about your situation and how you dealt with it and how you're feeling today about what happened.
So Lynette made a great point. You know, one of the things that's hard for children is speaking about their sexual abuse. It is a topic that a lot of people don't even want to hear about. Like there's a app that I go on, and we are live in conversation. You don't see each other, but every chance I get, because depending on whatever their topics are, I always bring this back because it always seems to go that way. But as soon as I bring it up, it's like, oh, there she go. That is part of the problem, right? Us
Right.
acting like it doesn't happen
Happen.
is not making it go away. The
Right.
only way you can stop something is by recognizing it, approaching it, and making sure you are dealing with it. So
Right.
in my case, it took me, oh my gosh, I didn't tell you how many therapists that I have seen over the course of my life when I finally started noticing that some of the behaviors came from me not addressing what had happened to me.
Mm.
So, you know, I've talked about it in my live one time, and I needed that for myself. So, as I've talked to my therapist recently, she says every time you talk about it, it's like another brick being
Remove.
destroyed from that wall.
Hmm.
And it's true. I feel so much lighter.
Right.
But of course, the people that hear me talk about it don't like hearing it. But truth is truth.
Right.
Real is real, right?
Right.
So for me, I was 14 years old, and you see, heard me state that my aunt and my uncle separated, and she started dating someone else. When she started dating this person, because she had custody of me, I had to visit her
Right.
from where I was in Long Island to where she was in Queens. So on those days, on the weekends when I would be out there, you know, I was excited because, you know, she and I didn't really have a good relationship. She I still to this day don't really understand what it was. As I'm older now, I'm thinking it was because she maybe felt that she got thrown having to take care of somebody else's child, her sister's child. You know what I'm saying? And not really wanting to do that. Um, so she and I didn't have a good relationship. She was really mean. I always tell people that I felt like I was Cinderella. I was treated, I was abused. Now that I'm older, I know that it was abuse.
Mm-hmm.
But when she started dating this person, she changed. She started, I don't know, I guess she was happy. Maybe her relationship with my uncle, she wasn't. And I guess she took it out on me. I don't know. But I could say she started becoming happy. She started taking me out. We started doing things together, things that we hadn't done ever.
Wow.
And when this man that she started dating, the first time he inappropriately touched me was after an event that we all were at. So he had daughters that are the same age as me, they're triplets. And we were all together. We all came back home to that apartment that they were in. It was late. She went out, and I was in the still there, fell asleep in a chair. As you hear me say, I have insomnia. It wasn't just something that just happened. I do have a hard time sleeping. So while everybody else was asleep, I was watching TV in the chair, wrapped up in a blanket, and I guess I eventually fell asleep. When I woke up, I was in his lap. The
Mm-hmm.
blanket was gone, and he was between my legs and under my shirt. I didn't know what to do. I was literally frozen in time until something finally just told me, just move. Maybe if you move, he'll stop. And when I coughed and moved, he did. And just like picked me up, and I kind of rolled off onto the floor. I grabbed the blanket, got on the floor with the other girls, and just wrapped myself in it and just stayed there. I could see him like through the blanket doing stuff from the kitchen to the room, out, took out the garbage, came back. And all I did was cry. You know, he came over one time and I just got, and you know, even to today, I still cover myself all the way with my blanket. There's
Wow.
just certain things that you don't realize that you adopt in trauma, right? And
Right.
that's one of the things. I literally, my granddaughter come in, she said, Dita, I didn't even know you were in the bed. Like, I, I'm still that way. It's like a way to protect myself. I wasn't like that before that incident because I had to think back when I was with my Nana. I wasn't that way. So that event, even till today, still has me where I feel sheltered. I need to be in a cocoon to protect myself.
Wow.
Um, the next morning, everybody got up. I could hear them getting up, and they were like, "What?" I could hear the triplets and them saying, "What's wrong with Gigi?" Like each one of them going in the bathroom and doing their thing, and I wouldn't move until finally it was my turn. And I literally just, when they kept on, "Get up, get up, get up," I finally ran in the bathroom and just stayed in the shower and just cried, cried, cried until they kept saying, "We gotta go. What's going on?" It was a very horrific time for me. Um, he did attempt other time around Christmas, touched me, coming up behind me while I was playing with my little cousin. Um, and then what made it worse was the times when I had to go back to Long Island and I would want to leave on Sunday, but my aunt would say no, you can wait till Monday because he has to go take the train out there anyway for a job, and I would have to leave with him on Monday mornings, and he would hold my hand and rubbing me and up on me. And as I'm thinking now, again, it's like when we see these type of things, I'm thinking in my head, did adults not see or think that this was strange that a young 14-year-old girl with this man holding her hand, or did they think that this was normal, right? That this was my father or somebody of authority, not knowing that this was someone who was a predator abusing them and using this time, extra time, as a way to keep me in that space.
Right.
Um, After that event, another time I was there, my aunt had, we do bowling is in our blood, I guess you would say. And she was always leaving. And this one time, I never asked her. I kept begging. She was like, "I gotta go. I'll be back. I have a meeting." And I cried and cried and begged her. She was like, "Why are you acting like that? You never want to go with me." And I was like, please, I'll be good. I'll sit still. And she was, I'll just be back. I'll be back. When she left, I was sitting in the room and he was there. I could feel him. And when she left, and he was like, I'm sorry. I won't do this again. I know I have a problem. I promise if you don't say anything, I'll never do it again. But of course, that was a lie because, like I said, he started doing other things, coming up behind me. For Christmas, he bought a necklace with my name on it. This is when the plates came. And I remember my aunt said, oh, you got a present, this one. I want you to give you this one. They always gave presents the day before. One gift you got to pick from out of the tree. And I went to pick another one, but she's like, no, I want you to take this one. And I was like, okay. When I opened it, that's what it was. And she said, you know who got this for you? I was like, you? She was like, no, it was Mickey. He got it for you. Oh. Then again, I didn't want nothing from him. And now that I'm older, and this is something that I advocate for, I understand that was grooming, right? The way that you consistently give gifts and try to be around someone, keep them close to you. The worst part of that is my whole family, when it finally came out from my school, because one day I broke at school in Long Island. I broke. And I told you I was a cheerleader, I was a track, I was an honor society, I was a straight A student, all of those things. And I broke. And that day, the nurse was like, what's wrong? And I told the principal, I told everybody what had happened. But from that day forward, my life would never be the same.
Right.
No one believed me. I made it up. Never, my story, even today, and anybody that's listening will say, I never changed from anything I've said when I was 14 years old. Wow. Not one time.
And so to me, it's not a story. No. To me, it's not a story that you even want to make up.
Thank you.
Right. No, absolutely. But, unfortunately, especially back then, it was taboo. And
right.
People think that, younger children were making up these stories and not really paying attention or listening, or they knew it was happening. Your aunt, she could have really knew it was happening, but she didn't want to face it. She didn't know how to face it. And so she took it out on you instead of embracing you. And because you just mentioned, right, that her whole demeanor changed when she had this new boyfriend after your uncle passed.
After they broke up. They had broke up.
Well, after they broke up. Okay. After they broke up, her whole demeanor changed, where she was so happy that she finally had somebody that she was happy with. And you wasn't going to mess that up for her.
Exactly.
That's all was in her head, which is sad. First of all, we want to say from the Real Recognized Real Talk Radio Show that we are truly sorry that you even had to go through such trauma. We don't wish that on our worst enemy, to have to go through something like that. And to see you today, and I'm sure it still have, like you say, you still put the blanket over your head. You still have some after effects. That's going to be longevity. It's not going to change. But whatever you can do to get out of that darkness, your podcast, your therapist, you're on the right track in trying to heal yourself. And I know you also spoke about your family and not having that support. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I don't talk to any of the only one I have her, and then I have my other aunt. She's the only one that I speak to. Including the woman that gave birth to me, right? And I always reference her just that way because she didn't raise me. But even in the midst of that, once she finally got clean, because that's why I was with my great grandmother, and she got clean when I was in my late teens. I'll say that she definitely got her life together. She got married. I'm so proud of all of that growth that she did. But one of the things that she wasn't able to do was be a mother. And in that meant being supportive, being able to put someone else first. She knows nothing about that. She couldn't put me first. If somebody told her I would give you $1 million to choose your only child, to do something before you just chose somebody else. She couldn't do it. It's just not in her to do. I've tried, even in therapy with her. I finally just had to wash my hands because
it was more damage to you.
Yes, I just, even in this midst of our therapy, this came up again because I'm saying some of the things that she says. I'm like, do you not understand that this happened? And she goes, well, what did you want me to do? Just turn away from my sister? I'm your child.
Right.
And I'm your only child. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you got another one to choose. This is it. This is what you get.
Right.
There are just some people in this world that they can push out a baby all day.
Right.
Does not
and
make
no connection and have no connection.
It does not make you a mother, just like you being able to make a child with someone does not make you a father, right? So it's sad. I think that's been the hardest part of this journey for me, is that I said this to her even in our therapy. I think I would have been able to get over what Mickey did to me and how the family did me had you have been there for me. But because she had not, it made it so much harder, because I think I kept trying in my head to understand, how does a mother not believe her child, right? And how you don't support them. All I get was, well, I wasn't there. I wasn't there. You didn't have to be there.
Exactly.
And if you had been there, maybe, of course, it wouldn't have happened. You understand what I'm saying? So that doesn't even compute. It doesn't compute.
And so you know, I know, and I hear still the hurt in your voice regardless, because you know you only get one mother. And
no, I had two, and I'm grateful for that, because Nana is the person that gave me everything.
Well, you only get one biological mother. Yeah. Let me correct that because like you said, it doesn't make you a mother because you birthed it, but you only get one biological. And thank God that your Nana stepped up and she did her part in raising you, and she instilled those values in you. But with all of the hurt of that, unfortunately, you do have to let it go, even though, you know, I'm sure you are letting it go.
Oh, I've let it go.
You have to continue to pray about it, because, you know, regardless, it doesn't change the fact that she still will always be somewhere a part of your life. Because you might say it might come out your mouth, but there's a piece of you that is still hurting, regardless of us saying we let go. You know how we are. We're sensitive creatures, right? As women. And
well, you're human. We're human first. Right. So of course we have feelings, but we can't allow our feelings to control, how we treat ourselves and how we treat others. But I just want to jump in, and sorry, Franchella.
Yes, okay.
But I just want to jump in because I get what you mean in terms of, a lot of times, people are mother, father, whatever, the title is, but sometimes they don't have, some mothers and fathers don't have the capacity to love you like they should all the time. Now, it's easy when you're raised in a household where your mother and father did do the right things, but there are way too many who don't always do the right things. Sometimes it's mental health issues. Sometimes it's drug addiction. Sometimes it's the mental health that leads to the drug addiction. Yeah. And despite whether it's a mother, a father, a grandmother, an uncle, or aunt, sometimes you do have to save yourself and your mental peace from these people who don't have the capacity to love you and treat you the way it, to me, is re-traumatizing the abuse. And
that part right there.
And a lot of people don't want to have that real conversation. It's like, oh, but that's your mother. Oh, but that's your father. Yeah, but for me, this person is re-traumatizing me by the way they treat me. So I'm all for, if I gotta go this way and you gotta go that way, and it's gonna save my peace, then God bless you, and I wish you nothing but the best.
And that's exactly what I had to do, because the last thing I tried was when she was here was to meet up with her. She made all the plans. Oh, she want to see me. Did it? Okay. All right, I'll go get you. And then she called me because that morning and said, "Oh, my knee hurts. I'm not coming." But she had been up here because she lives upstate New York, so she had been, I should say, down here for over a week, visiting other people. And then when it was time for me to go pick her up, oh, my knee hurt. I'm sorry, I ain't gonna be able to come.
Right.
But
And then that
thing,
takes
and
you back.
that was it for. And my spouse was like so upset. I know you heard. I said, no, I can't even explain to you that all I remember was me, that little girl at 5 in the window of my grandmother's house, hearing that same thing. So, eventually that's all you hear.
Exactly.
I was numb. There was nothing left. I didn't have anger for her. And I get your knee was hurting, but all you had to do was come down and get in my car. Nobody was telling you to run around the block. Nobody was saying we got to take a train to Manhattan. All you didn't have it in you. If that was my child, if I had to get on my butt and come down the stairs to get in the car to spend some time with you, that's what I'm going to do. But that's what I meant about she is never in her life. And I don't use the word never, but I'm going to say it for her. Never in her entire life that I know for me has she ever put me first. I could even so many different situations that she didn't show up when I was in the hospital, but she was here and said, no, I want to go straight home. But what?
Right. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that hurt people hurt people. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times people that mistreat you, whether they're friends, family members, it's because they're hurting. And they always seem to take it out on the closest person to them. Yeah. And it's unfair. It's not right. And like Franchella said, we're sorry that you even had to experience this type of trauma.
So
I'm glad that you are pushing through and pushing forward and not repeating the cycle with your own children.
Right. Absolutely.
Because some hurt people. So you also have to be cognizant of, your children and how you treat them, and let that be a lesson of what not to do. You know what I mean? So anyway.
So can you before we wrap this up? I see our lovely divas in the waiting room. Can you what words of encouragement would you give someone, a young person who might be out there right now experiencing the same type of trauma, and also what advice can you give a child to avoid, maybe, I don't know how you can, but to avoid that type of trauma?
I would tell them to just speak up. And I know that that's hard. I know in your head you're thinking, because I know for me, I didn't tell initially because she was finally liking me. She was finally doing stuff with me, and I didn't want to lose that. I think that's the part that still hurts me, though I can't stand that woman today. That little part of me as a child is what I remember the most, right? And I would tell you that you matter. And no matter what anyone else say, that is your story in your life, and you can speak up for you. The day I went to the police station last year, I went and filed a case against him. Though it wasn't going to go anywhere, it is on record. So if he ever gets pulled over, it will come up. Right. But I did that, and I cried because all I saw was me walking little Gigi into that police station, which is what should have happened years ago. Right. So know that the person who is there with you and for you, speak to your cousin, speak to an aunt, speak to a friend, speak to a counselor, speak to your teacher. Tell someone and let them be the one that holds your hand and walks you through that path, because it will make a difference.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being and telling your story.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate it. Can you tell everybody where they can find you and your podcast? Or
Yes, you can. We are gearing up for the rest of our season, which is Sex and Sensuality, the podcast, which is on all the medias. So you have on Apple Music and Spotify and all the ones that you listen to on your music. I also do some lives on Facebook and Instagram, which is under Janelle Gigi Torres and Janelle Philosophy Torres as well.
All right.
Thank you so much.
So much for joining.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate it. Thank you so
Yes.
much. I'm sure you done healed somebody today, or it's somebody
Absolutely.
your message and feeling encouraged. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me, ladies.
You're
Absolutely.
welcome. God bless you and continue healing.
Yes,
Thank you. God
absolutely.
bless.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. Let's bring up the divas.
Hey,
Hey,
what's
Kim.
up? What's up,
There
ladies?
you come.
Hey,
Well, Foxy's camera's turned off, so I'm not going to bring her up until I see her on the camera. I'm not sure.
Foxy,
But-
we know you, Foxy girl. Turn that camera on.
There she go. He was having a little difficulty Hey, y'all.
Good evening.
What's
She looks like
up?
I'm happy to be
Stop.
here.
Yeah, stop acting all you're not at work right now. Talking about good evening. Good evening. Let the hair down. How y'all doing? Y'all good?
Pretty
Yes,
good.
we're good.
So,
Can you hear me? Because I have to get on my phone.
huh? You
Can you hear me? Because I had to get on my phone. I don't know what's going on.
Oh,
I was trying to get in, but I couldn't see y'all. So
Oh, okay.
on the laptop.
No worries. Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, we can see you and we can hear you.
Okay.
It
Yep.
happens. It happens.
Kim got her full name. What you doing, Kim? What's that all in the background?
Oh, that's my vision boards. Hey,
Oh,
they my
okay.
vision boards, honey.
I know that's right.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what it says. What's some of the
my
words
vision
on?
boards.
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
some of the-
Okay. This one is from 2019. This one is very special. That was the year I went through my divorce. So I
Okay.
made this and it says, maybe I'll bring it up closer so y'all can see it. This one, it says, I want to take that vacation. It says, believe, yoga, falling in love with me, new remedies, new hope, my black and my beautiful story. Connections, I want to make connections. I stand for women's equality. I want to get rid of my student loan debt.
I know
Still
that.
haven't done that
All
yet.
of us do.
Look, still haven't done that yet. I am what I make up. I want to live in glam, try something new, financial peace of mind, next level, entrepreneur, self-care, focus, walk for a charity, walk, hike, and bike ride, and
That's awesome.
sleep pleasure. Yes, that was, and I Oprah Winfrey, that's one of my favorite people. So I put her on there just for motivation, just to inspire me.
I know that's right. So
Yeah.
a lot of people create vision boards and to manifest it. Manifest.
And I
Exactly.
just
I have only done one in my life. No, I'm
I
sorry.
have 3.
I'm lying. I only have done 2 in my life, and one was with y'all. That was it. My vision board is up here.
And I have all 3 of them up there.
Yeah, I need to write it
It's
down.
a thinking board.
I mean, it's kind of, this is my little workspace. So, when I sit here, it just reminds me of what I haven't done or what I said I was going to do and haven't got to. So it's visual. So I have the 3 that I made. They're up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what we're going to talk about tonight, y'all, is we just going to get into. We had a wonderful time. We had movie night here.
Yeah.
Saturday, and we had a ball.
Yes, we did.
We did. Thank you.
We had absolute amazing time, fun games, friends, and just to accompany everybody. We just had a good time. So the movie, The Past, we didn't get to talk about it after movie night because everybody kind of wore everybody out.
Yeah, you
did. But I figured, let's talk about it tonight.
Yes. Well, first, let me put this disclaimer out there.
Okay.
Franchella's married, Kim is married, and Foxy's married too. So the opinions that I'm single. So the opinions that y'all going to hear are from 3 married women and a single woman. So now let's get it started. So, would anybody ever give their husband a pass? Why and
Hell,
why? Why? Yes, why or why not?
Well, let me say something. Would I do it?
No, people might.
Huh?
Don't
tell
the
what?
movie. The movie.
I don't care. This is spoiler alert. Spoiler, whatever.
If you haven't seen the movie, you need to shut it off.
right.
Yeah, there you go. That's what Foxy said.
If you have, and they come back and hear what we gotta say.
We're gonna slip up.
But it's Candy Burrows, right? Her and her husband Todd. They directed and I guess executive producers of the movie The Pass. Now, here's the thing. I have known personally people who have given the pass in married life, marriages.
Wow.
And I have seen them fail because of that as well. So you can give a pass because you're saying, okay, it's not like cheating because I'm getting permission, right? To go and do my thing because maybe, you want to. You want to try something new, something fresh. But what happens is you fall in love with that freshness, right? Because let's say this. In the beginning of all relationships, even our first boyfriends, right?
Look at Foxy like the
even our first boyfriends, we had that feeling of, like as soon as they touch you, it's like, oh, you have that excitement, that real, what is it called when they touch you and you feel like that
goosebumps or
what? Not, I guess, like goosebumps or whatever. So in the beginning, right? And then you get used to each other. Not that you don't care about them anymore or love them anymore, but that original, now,
feeling,
nobody in front, that original feeling that you had in the very beginning of your relationship, you don't have no more.
I don't think that's true.
But you know why? Sometimes
those sparks that you had in the very beginning, after years and years and years of being with the person, it changes. It's not.
You know why sometimes?
Why?
Because y'all don't yet have a history with each other.
Absolutely.
So nothing happened yet.
Right.
So it's like, okay, you are.
So you mean to tell me you're in a relationship for like, say, 10 plus years, and at times you don't get that little, he look good over there. You get that little quiver, that little hair behind your neck stands up and like, he look good. Y'all don't get that?
Oh, absolutely, I do.
Oh, okay, so that's still.
But that's not what they're saying.
That's not what I'm. Yeah, that's not what I just know. In my first marriage with my first boyfriend, and that whole feeling that I felt in the very beginning, I didn't feel that towards the end.
And that feeling that you're talking about, it usually lasts about 18 months.
Yes, it does.
About 18 months.
But with that being said, I don't know if that still constitute the pass.
The pass is totally different.
Right.
You're giving them I wouldn't be able to do that.
But don't you think that's why people are giving each other the pass, is because they are looking for that spark that they don't have anymore? Like
I'm new every day. Put a wig on, change it up, switch it up, whatever you got to be new every day.
You have to be open in the bedroom and in your relationship to try different things to keep that spark. If you're not willing to do that, and the only thing you can do is allow your husband, or I should say your mate, be with someone else, I mean, you might as well just have an open relationship, because I think feelings will get involved. And not for nothing, I know with me, like if I'm gonna let you have a piece of this cookie,
Mhm.
There's going to be feelings involved. Like it's not going to be just okay. You could just
Right. And
take
that's
it or touch it or do whatever, and I can move on. Like as humans, it's going to be some type of feeling, and then you see that person, even though it was supposed to be a stranger, you may see that person again or whatever, and you're like, ooh, let me try it again.
And then they
So,
sneaking to do it. Then at that point, they sneaking to do it. You know what I mean?
but then if you sneak and do it, that's the fun of it. You're like, ooh, let me just step out real quick. Let me do this. And then you start, oh, well, they don't know. And then next thing you know, somebody slips up or whatever. And it just causes issues. So I don't know. I'm not equipped to handle that. Like if you want to step out, you might as well step out and keep on stepping.
Right.
So you
I
better
don't
figure it out.
Yeah.
Make it spicy. We better figure something out.
Right. I think to each his own. However, I don't want to kiss somebody's lips that I know than kiss somebody else's lips. Or I don't want you to penetrate me and I know you penetrate somebody else. Like I just don't. That's nasty to me. But
and my thing is, I'd rather you sneak, because if I give you a pass, it's on your mind, right? No, I mean, if I give you a pass, right, I know I'm going to look at you sideways when you come back, because I know you just went and did something, and that to me it creates an argument. Even though will be like, you gave me a pass, but no, see, I can't.
But see, I think if you do give somebody a pass, you shouldn't know when it happens.
But regardless,
because in your mind you're going to want to ask.
Yeah,
I believe in a union of marriage, and I believe that it is godly ordained, and I believe that there is no room for us to even question going outside of this godly institution that he has made for us to be together. Period.
Right.
Period.
Period.
You
exactly.
know?
But
So,
it's happening. I mean, it's real. It's real. It's happening. I mean, you have swingers.
We got swinger houses and all kinds of
But swinger houses, that's totally different. That's not a pass. Y'all just doing it together, doing it with multiple people maybe at one time, or maybe just doing it with someone else, or you have your husband or your significant other just watching, because that turns you on. Like that's a whole nother animal, because I know of a couple that
and I believe
get down like
we
that.
got to get to the root of it, and the root of it is nowadays is not even about love. People aren't in relationships for love. People are in relationships for money, for business. They come together. Like we could use Candy and Ty, for example, the people that made the movie, right?
Yep.
They live their life
like
sexual. That. Everything is about sexual. They do threesomes. They've even been talked about the Tiny and Tip. They're friends with them, and they all do all this stuff together, and that's just how they get down, right? So when you get to a financial status, hey, people feel like they made it, so they can do whatever. They're going to create their own rules and their life. I don't think it's right. Social media got us all crazy. I'm not partaking in it. It ain't right. And I'm just old school. I believe one person, y'all supposed to love each other till death do us part. Right now I'm not married. However, this is my my second relationship. I was divorced.
Okay.
This time around, like the person that I with, I want us to grow old together, right? We two old people with our little canes together, like going to the store together. Like, like all of that, I can't see that for myself. I see tradition. Maybe I'm just old school. I don't know.
It's not. It's having morals and standards,
values, and integrity.
Exactly.
And integrity.
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some people think, oh, you a square or you boring or corny, but no, it's like I have morals and standards, and it's okay.
And then also, I have children.
Right.
Like the morals and values, I wanna. They might not always live by the same morals and values and integrity that I hold, but I want them to see me in a space that's like something that they can look up to. Not something that they like. Like, I mean, think about those people. What are they? Is that okay for your children? You want your children out swinging
Exactly.
and
They're
taking
just
a
putting a
pass?
different spin on cheating. That's all. They're just saying it's a pass. That's
Right.
it.
Cheating
They're not
ain't
It's
looking
right.
still
at it. They're not
cheating.
looking
Like,
at
I don't
it.
understand.
Right.
Cheat
They're not looking at it as
and let's
cheating
talk
because
about
they're
cheating.
given a pass, so they think that it's okay. In their eyes, it's okay.
Exactly. But in the eyes of outsiders, if they were, that's basically just cheating. Like, okay,
And
you
to me, cheating is selfish. It's a selfish
Very much
act.
so.
It's a
Very much.
very selfish act.
Very
So
much.
now with the past, what we're saying is, okay, we can all be selfish, you know, but we're just gonna just have a ball and do what we do. People are making up their own rules, but that's
Right.
okay for them.
What happened that made us think as a society, as a people, that we have to have it all? We have to have it all. We gonna die
Because
if we just
you
don't
know
have
why?
it all.
Because
Like, you gonna be okay if you don't sleep with multiple people. You're gonna live.
everybody is with this social media, is everybody is showing their best self. There's some of those people that say they do it might not even do it. They might just be presenting it to people as they do it. You know, it's just it's where we
You
are today.
it's
It's
crazy. You
sad.
look at me and you don't know what I do, and that's what you ain't supposed to know.
You have
Exactly.
some people that live together or they was married and they can't really afford, I guess, to get a divorce. So they continue to stay married, but then they have separate relationships. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Hmm.
Then they have rules for that. Oh, I don't know what movie I was watching. Okay, make sure you can't bring them back to the house because this is still our
Hmm.
sanctuary.
Hmm.
Right.
And they go outside and they have their relations. For some people, honestly,
It
it
works.
works for them. If it's right, hell no. But it works for them. But in some people, it don't work. They think it's gonna work, but it backfired.
Yup.
And it didn't work for them
Yup.
because as women, I need to have feelings for you if I'm gonna lay down with you. I'm different.
Absolutely.
Like so
Absolutely.
I can't
That's
just
why I
lay
said the
down.
emotion.
Right,
Mhm.
exactly. It got to be some connection. I just can't go to a bar and be like, oh, he fine, and just didn't just lay down with you. Like that
Exactly.
ain't gonna happen.
Right.
So, but some women are ratchet and they can make that happen.
Right.
So, it's just the I just think some of them they want to try it, and the people that I'm talking about too, the marriage fell exactly the
Of
Mhm.
way
course.
the pass it fell.
Because
Um,
that's not how God intended. God don't bless no mess.
right,
Right.
exactly.
And I don't think you can
Don't
fix your
mess,
marriage outside of it.
huh?
I don't
But you,
think you can fix your marriage outside of your marriage.
because you
You know
have
what
to
I mean?
still wonder. Like I said, there's no way. I'm like, oh, Tony, you got to pass, and I don't care. I'm not supposed to know. Like Foxy just said, she ain't supposed to know.
And
Right? We ain't supposed to know.
brother, he ain't
I'm
giving
going to be
you.
a million every time he walk through that damn door. I'm gonna have a damn attitude.
Well, see, this is the thing. This is the thing.
And
It's
don't
so
give
funny that this is the topic for us tonight because yesterday we were talking about the movie because something popped up on my phone, and I was just like, I was like, babe, I said, oh, you want to pass? And he was like, pass. And I was like, the movie. He was like, what? I said, don't even think about it because it's not even going to happen. I said, I would hurt somebody. I said,
exactly.
we need to not be together if you want to go ahead and do whatever you want to do. And I said, I know you couldn't handle it if I went out there and did something. I said, please.
Right?
I
I said, come
would walk
on
out
now. I
there
said,
with you.
we're not
Why
even
would
that,
you even
like that. But I
why
just
would
wanted to
you even want
see
more
his
than me?
reaction.
Right.
It's definitely a double standard though with men and women.
It
Oh,
is.
absolutely. Absolutely. So, they think they could just do whatever and be like, oh, we're supposed to be all right with it. But then if we do something, they be like, oh, wait a minute. You're supposed to
Right.
be mine. But,
Exactly. Right.
nah.
And then if you ever and then you know how we are, right? That's why I
That's
said
what
we can find that dude that escaped from prison because we undercover detectives, yo. So we be all over because we know like, well, who was she? You want to see now? You want to know
So
what
we
she
know where she live, where she work, who her mama
who in
is,
their
who her
right
friends are.
mind?
We probably befriended her on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, whatever. sending her darn
One,
DMs.
one black woman is just too much work. Why would you even want to complicate your life with multiple black women? Like,
They may not do that. No, we are melting pot over here in America. They may go anywhere.
like
Shoot.
why would
Hey.
you do that to yourself?
Well, and you know, and then you hear, so this is, I guess, off topic, you know, where they're saying that we are too much work, you know, and that's why they
And
changed.
it's okay.
They
But
changed.
But I don't think it's women in general. I don't think it's black women. I think it's how we wire. We're wired different.
But you know, we got to, you
Well,
know.
no, black women are wired much different than white women.
Yes,
I agree. We got this right here.
And listen here.
Not for nothing. My husband, he knew I was a bit much when he came into a relationship with me, because after a divorce, I knew my worth and I wasn't going to settle for anything else. So like, I voiced my opinion. He's more quiet, and it's kind of scary, but he's more quiet. So not for nothing. Yeah, we are a bit much, but rightfully so. Shoot, sometimes we need to be. We know our worth, so we're going to be loud. If we get quiet, then you know that's when they get scared, because you never know what we're going to do.
And
That's what it
I
is.
just don't understand how a man would need multiples of that. You can't. How can you? It's hard to handle one. Like, how do you even like?
You know, I mean,
they're not as connected emotionally,
right? They have more than one wife, right?
Yeah.
In a Muslim relationship, they have more than one wife, where they're supposed to treat.
But they're also submissive.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that.
Ain't
Right.
well,
we're supposed to be, as Christians, we're supposed to be submissive as well, right?
Honey.
And we are to a certain extent.
We are not.
Like, I'll let you lead. I'll let you lead me.
God is working with me with that.
You ever seen the first lady grab the microphone and be like, no, boo. All the first ladies like, no, baby.
I'll follow you. But if you're not capable, you can't tell me nothing.
No, absolutely. But I mean, the thing of it is it's happening. Trust me, it's happening. And you know, you don't want it to happen at all. I'm not going to give you permission to make it happen. But if you're going to do it, you're going to have to sneak, because it will create so many issues and problems. Like I said,
well, that's going to create a problem if you sneak. So
no, that too. But if you don't find out, you don't find out, right? So what you don't know can't hurt you. Is it supposed to be? I'm not saying that. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I'm just saying that in my case, you better just go and sneak and do it, because it's going to be hell.
I'm not giving you a pass to sneak.
Oh no, not at all, Tony. He's on here too. He all on here. You know, hubby don't play that foxy. He's saying all this, that LOL and that.
I already know he don't play. So,
that's right. Unique and Foxy talk to them, you know. So no, he on here. He can come. You can come downstairs, Tony, if you want to chime in on this. Like, but I'm just saying.
Can Francella get a pass? Look,
that better not even come out of her mouth. Can I get you like what? Some ice cream, a drink?
No, she get a pass to go on another trip. That's the only pass she gets.
She get a bus pass.
She get a pass to go on another trip. That's about it.
I just have one question, because all three of y'all are divorced. So I have a friend. I have a friend who is going through a divorce, and I talked to her yesterday, and she's struggling with it, because I think people are in her ear talking about God don't like divorce, and God, you know, like she feels like she's done something wrong. And I was trying to convince her. I was never married, but you know, I do know a little bit about relationship. So I was saying, God does, in the Bible, God does give you a reason for outs, like adultery, and you know, there's reasons to get divorced. So I was saying, don't beat yourself up, because it happens.
Well, let me tell you this.
So please share and I hope she's watching. Please share with something with her to let her know it happens, And it's
my
not the
okay.
end of the world. And it's not the end of the world. So go ahead.
My ex-husband and I, we were a part of a mega church for 20 years. And there were some issues that happened the last 3 years of our marriage, and he kind of just changed into a different individual. And being a woman of God, being in the church, I kept praying. I fasted. I did it all. I sat down with my bishop. I did all the praying. I did everything. But one night I laid on that couch, and God said to me that ain't nowhere in that Bible it says that you're supposed to be mistreated. Nowhere in that book does it say that. So from that day forward, that's when I made up my mind that it was over. And I did all I could do. So now you just stand and you do what God told you to do. And that was what God spoke to me and said, it's time. It's time. And it's okay. And I got my pass. That was my pass.
That was right.
That was my pass to keep it moving. And just move on with my life, because I, for a long time, as a person that was involved in the church heavily, I can't go. Marriage is, is sacred. Marriage is this. Yes, it's supposed to be, but if he's not honoring
it, good.
Right.
It's okay. It's okay.
That's what I was saying.
And then I had to really start looking and say, okay, we spent this 20 years. We had a great marriage. But in the beginning, did I seek God about this man?
That's what she said. That's exactly what
she said. Did I seek God about him? So yeah, God, because I'm a child of God, he allowed us to grow a great family and things like that. But he made me really do some soul searching and start looking like, when we got married, I didn't seek him.
Exactly. Exactly. So, that part.
Yeah. That's exactly what she said, She didn't seek God, when she married.
And Darlene corrected me. She said butterflies. That's what it was. Why couldn't y'all think of that?
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Mom.
Yes, Mom. Thank
you. Just miscorrect all anyway. So
I don't know why I couldn't think of that. I'm like, what we used to feel back in the day. He's like, oh, you got butterflies. Okay, there we go. But yeah, that part, Unique. You're so right about that because, my first marriage going down the aisle, my dad kept asking me, "You sure you want to turn around? You want to turn around?" So he knew.
Really? Oh wow!
So it is what it is. I mean, God rest his soul. He did pass at the age of 38. But yeah, so they do frown upon divorce because what you say at the altar, to death do us part. You're supposed to work out all your situations and things that happen in your life. You're supposed to work on them together and come up with a solution and compromise. And but if it's abuse, or if it don't have to be physical, it could be verbal. If it's like you said, adultery, if it's anything in that Bible that talks about being mistreated, you have to get out. I mean, how long are you supposed to stay in a relationship and deal with that kind of situation? You have to, to your girlfriend. I don't know what her situation is, but I think she cannot feel like she failed. And I'm a witness. The second time around is the best. Because you grow. You grow within yourself. Like I knew like a lot of things that he did in our relationship, in our marriage, but I wasn't perfect either. So what I try to do is I try to look within myself and say, okay, in my next relationship or marriage, I'm gonna try not to bring what I heard him say. So I don't never, sit there and I didn't to Tony, I didn't complain about him and say he this or this. I didn't do no comparison. You can't compare in your next relationship. That's where people fell to. I mean, it's just work. It's not easy. Relationships aren't easy, but just love on yourself. Self-care. Tell her to love on herself. And God and talk to God. God is the only prayer to direct her in the way that she should go. That's it.
I agree. Both of them, that's good advice.
You want to add?
Foxy.
You got done or something?
So for me, if I can be all the way transparent, I married my high school sweetheart, my first boyfriend. So for me, it's a little bit different. Like I thought he was the one. No, I didn't pray for him. So or pray, that God would send him to me. I just thought this was for me. At a young age, we dated when I was 14. So for me to start at 14 and then get divorced, when I'm like, I don't know, 28, it's just hard. And I got divorced because he did stepped out twice. First time I forgave, let's talk about it. Second time, it just went a whole nother way. It was the mental abuse, then it became slightly physical, then it became where I got out of character because I wasn't the Erica that I am now. The Erica that I was back then, I was quiet, the housewife, working, the mother. You don't have to do anything but wake up, wash your tail, and go outside, make some money, and come back. Like, that's how it was. Like, I took care of everything else. So I think for the most part, like, I lost myself. And then in the midst of everything, him stepping out, it was just like, it was a mental thing because it was always constant bashing. Like, you were the one that's wrong. You're the one that did it. It was always me, 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 me. And until one day, like, I just got so fed up and I was like, I know my worth. I know I'm better than this. And I was like, you know what? You want a divorce? Fine. You don't want to work on it. I went try to go to counseling. You didn't want to do that. So I was just like, you know what? I'm tapping out. Like, I even tried to, really get in and pray about it. And I thought I was doing that wrong. And I was just like, you know what? I'm done. I can't have my son see this. I can't be like this. It was affecting, my friendships. It was affecting, with my mother and my sister. They were ready to be on the first 48 and whatnot. So it's just like, once I knew my worth and once I knew I could do it by myself, because I was always with him. Like, it was always me, like, first apartment, first home built. Like, it was me and him, ride or die, me and him. So once I knew that I was able to stand on my own, be my own woman, like, be that the head of the household and take care of my child by myself without his help, financially, everything. Once I knew I could do that, then that's when, things started going well for me. I really, started praying to God that, I need your help. I need your help. And then once my second husband came into my life, we're total opposites. And the first thing that he said to me on like the third date was just like, I'm going to marry you. And I'm like, looking at him like, no, you're not. Like, I'm not ever getting married again. Like, I said that for the longest time, where he got upset about it because he was like, no, I'm going to marry you. And I'm like, no, I'm not getting married again. We could be together, but we're not getting married. Until, I really started to pray and say, you know what, Lord, I know you have somebody for me. And he was right there in front of my face. Now, don't get me wrong. Things, you still have to work on a marriage regardless. Right. But you could tell your friend that just know your worth. I always say that, know your worth and just pray on it, because things, get better. And all that outside conversation, I mean, people have opinions, so let them have their opinions. It is what it is. But she has to do it for her.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So she's fine. That's what she needs to do. And she's praying on it. She's getting counseling and different things like that. Like, no. Because it was starting to affect me mentally. And I did not want, when my son started seeing different things, yeah, Erica had to tap out.
I think that sometimes, and we're gonna wrap this up. That and I'm with you, Erica, because that was my boyfriend at 12. So yes, that was the first, and we married and the kids. So like, yeah. So I get all that, but it's we tend to like hold on to things that we shouldn't hold
Ooh,
on to because we are afraid to be alone. You know what I mean? As
that part.
women,
Mhm.
we are afraid to be alone, so we hold on to those mistreated, abused, whatever relationships. Um, and that's what we have to get out of as women, that we have to learn how to love ourselves and that it's okay to be by ourselves, to get ourselves together. You know, if it's
Exactly.
meant to be,
Exactly.
someone else will come by and you are in a better space in your life, that when
Exactly.
the next person comes through, that you can handle whatever the situation may be. And
Exactly. A
that's
lot
just
of
my
times, the reason we hold on is because we are so hopeful that one day, just one day, this person just might have an aha moment and transform into the man that we want him to be. Not the one that, not who he is and who he shows us time and time again. We just holding on to that hope that one day he is going to treat me right. He's going to be everything that we want him to be. But we have to see people for who they are and who they keep showing us that they are, and not that people can't change, because they
Maya
can.
Angelou said,
I've
when
changed,
they
so I know people can change.
when
But
they
go
show you who they are, believe them.
believe them, believe them,
and
believe.
see, here's the thing. We as women also always want to jump fast to get married, and all those freaking red flags are there
Yup,
way
they
prior to you
ignore them.
getting married.
Yup.
So look at those red flags before you start worrying about walking down that aisle with that white dress, okay? Because it's not all cracked up to be, you know, that's going to be different. Like if he shows you that in the beginning and you get married, it's not going
It's
to
not going
change.
to change.
Not
Yup,
going to change. And we put on blinders for
yup.
all those red flags. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I mean, we
I
see
agree.
them.
When
Maybe
I
we
met
should
my
start like a 1-800 red flag number
hotline,
and
when I
have
met my ex fiance, I would, when I first met him, he was possessive and controlling. I thought it was cute at first. I was like, oh, he really liked me. And look at him, look at him. And then it just kept going and got worse and worse. And I was like, wait a minute,
Wow.
this is crazy. Like, this actually is crazy. When I can't look at a man in a movie without you saying, I see you looking at his chest. And we looking at a movie.
right.
So
Wow.
so you really do have to. We didn't get down that aisle because I was like, I can't. My what the break for me was, can you deal with this for the rest of your life?
Life.
Mm-hmm.
And my answer was unequivocally no.
No.
And I was like, well, maybe if we go to counseling, maybe if we do this, and maybe if we do that. We went to one counseling session, and then he refused to go back. And that right there was like, then it's over.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt a weight. I felt a huge weight lift from me. Like, what was you waiting for? You stuck, like you said, we hold on so long because we really think one day this person is going to change. A person cannot, you cannot change a person. They have to want to change for themselves. So that's we could talk about this for hours on end, but
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I just wanted y'all to give her some encouragement, which y'all did, and I'm thankful. And if she's not watching, I'm definitely going to share this because it's something that she really needed to hear. You know,
Yeah.
because we beat ourselves up more than they beat themselves up.
Mm-hmm.
You
Right.
know,
Word.
They move on
Word.
so
that's
Yes,
what
fast.
they
I said.
do.
I was like, girl, he didn't move on and whatever. He ain't even thinking about it. And
Right.
you so don't, you don't stop living. Like it gets better and life does go on. So for
Yeah.
any woman out there, any man out there that's going through relationship challenges or something, some type of loss, know that it does get better. Your life doesn't end because a relationship ended. Your
That's it.
life does not end. So
Not-
anyway. I digress.
Well, Divas, thanks for coming on and sharing your story. Well, your stories. Well, yeah, your stories with us.
Yeah.
A little something. Because sometimes people are really afraid of
Real.
talking about. Yeah. It's real. It's life. I don't
Yeah.
know
Yeah,
how many.
nobody's relationship is perfect. Like it's work.
At all.
Right. It's work.
Especially
It's
at
work.
this age where we're at.
Right.
There's so much transition. There's so much going on. And
Right.
these are conversations that need to happen
Absolutely.
because so many women our age are either staying for money, they're
Yeah.
staying for all the wrong reasons.
Right.
But
Exactly.
leave and get out. I didn't. I left
It's
with
so
nothing.
hard out here for a pimp. Trying to get a dollar.
I did tell Harry, if Idris Apple well, Idris, if he comes, knocks on my door.
You
I'm just saying.
want that pass.
Idris Alba comes knocking on his door. Just dismiss everything I said and charge it to the. Who you have to charge it?
Mm.
Y'all got to pray for me.
That's coming from somewhere, but it ain't
You
coming.
got to pray for me.
Mm.
Say a little prayer, Kim. Say a little prayer.
Girl, bye.
He ain't coming by. We ain't got to worry about it.
Never
He
know.
ain't coming by.
I mean, we might run
And,
into him,
and
but
that's
he
cheating.
knocking on
That's
your
a
door.
form of cheating. Right there. Get that out your head. Erase
I'm
that.
just teasing. I would never. I would never.
Get my book.
Yeah.
She just never
I
went
would
out.
never.
but-
I had that happen to me. I would never, ever, ever, ever,
No, but
ever.
honestly, some people will look at that as a form of thinking of
Oh,
someone else.
fantasy.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
so-
no, I would never. Mm-mm.
Oh, Tony talking about Foxy, charge it to what?
I don't know. Charge it to the head, charge it to the heart. I don't know. Just charge it.
Go ahead.
I don't know.
And Sydney's on here. She says, if Morris Chestnut come knocking, she's
See?
like, forget about it. I think it's always my star crush. And I don't have one now, but back in the day, my star crush was LL Cool J. But now I don't see him like that at all. Like that, it just like
Right.
You grew out of it.
When I was young, mine was
I had an opportunity because he was in the neighborhood. He was signing autographs. I was in line. I chickened out. I let my sister-in-law take my place and take my kids inside of there to get the autograph. Yup, because I don't know. I don't know what
You
it
was
was.
nervous. He made you nervous.
I don't know because Tony, you should be lucky if you're listening because LL probably would have wanted to marry me if I went in. So I didn't go in. I stayed out. But yeah, we all have those celebrity crushes. It is what
No, I just had to make light of the situation. We was getting deep.
Yeah,
You know who you are.
I gotta make a joke or something. We gotta lighten it up.
Yeah, exactly. Look at Kel's face. She look like he's. You already
I'm
Kel?
like, I'm not even engaging in this conversation.
I know. Kim's like, she's in her therapist mode. Like, no, that's just not right. It's not right. Come on, girl. Let it loose. Let them show the shit. All right, y'all. Anyway, I just figured that was a good topic to talk about since we all just watched the movie. If you guys have not seen the movie, go watch it. It's really wouldn't expect what
Twists
happened.
and turns.
We give that away. So go and watch it. And then share on our page your thoughts of the movie The Past.
Yeah.
And if you do it and how you felt about it. We would truly appreciate that. We want to also thank again Gigi Philosophy for coming on and sharing her story with us. It's very important that if you're going through anything in your life or your child, listen to your children. Listen to them when they say something is wrong and something is happening to them. Please, parents, listen to them.
And don't be afraid to speak up. Do not be afraid to speak up. Sometimes that is the way out.
Yes.
That is the way to get them to stop
yes.
hurting you in whatever way. Speak up.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, ladies. Well, thank you for being on the Real Recognize Real Talk Radio
Thank
show. This
you.
won't be
See
your
you
last time.
guys.
We got so many topics to talk about in life, and we love when you come on and you share your stories and your thoughts with us. So thanks again for coming on, and we'll
You're
see you
welcome.
later. All right.
See you
Bye.
Thank you
guys.
both for being transparent. Thank you. God
You're
bless.
Thank
welcome.
you. Bye.
All right, y'all. We out of here. Real Recognize Real. Until next time, Lynette, right?
Yes, thank everybody for tuning in and staying with us. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Every
Yeah.
second Tuesday of the month, we're here keeping it 100.
And wait, don't tell them before you go. Tell them again. Saturday.
This Saturday, the Lucian Blackwell Community Center in West Philadelphia. Make sure that you come out. It's a free community event. It's a youth talent show. So you have youth, you have talent. Come on out. We don't care what the talent is. They say little JJ can sing, but he really can't. Tell him to come on out. We're going to encourage him anyway. We're going to encourage him anyway. And he might have a chance to win a prize, or
Right.
whoever it is.
Exactly.
Come on out 1 till 3:30.
Yes, absolutely. All right, guys. Thanks
the
again. Don't forget what?
Nothing. I was just
We out
saying.
this way? Which way we going? Which way?
I'm pointing to you.
We out,
The
y'all.
most-
We
the
love you
most-
until next time. Please share this video and have a safe and blessed week. All right, we out.
We out.